feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no
The Bricc baby bussy clip? What's going on? Okay, let me see.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think? He was praying he got out of jail so he could do something to him? Like, what you mean?
I think more like people were just like, you know, you were on a stand.
Reference throughout the whole trial, that interview. Yeah, so I don't know if they, I mean, because that's a long ass, you know what I mean? I don't think they'll show the whole interrogation during trial, as long as this trial is going to be anyway. That's like a 2-hour video.
Okay, I'm trying to find the clip. So there's another clip, supposedly. Is it this? It's not that. Where is the clip? I think.
A lot of stuff sounds the same, man. It's all rooted.
Where's the clip?
You know, like the content is the same, and I got more talent, and I'm a rapper because of Mac Dre. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I'm trying to find the whole thing in context. Oh, here we go. This is it. Nobody got timestamps?
How do you feel about Gucci Mane dropping all those artists?
Gucci Mane got some good pussy.
What?
Huh?
Yeah, Gucci Mane got some good pussy.
That moment right there, I knew that nigga was high. Like, once you see that left eye right here.
How do you feel about Gucci Mane dropping all those artists?
Gucci Mane got some good pussy.
Huh?
Yeah, Gucci Mane got some good pussy.
What I mean?
Okay. Can you explain that a little bit more?
I'm saying, if it was Gucci Mane and he had the pussy, it was good.
Okay.
Let me stop fucking with you, cuz.
Oh, he
Where are
was
we going
joking.
with this?
Oh, he was. You see, every clip I've seen on social media doesn't make it clear that he was joking. I thought he was like mad serious about it. I thought he was mad serious about it.
I'm like,
Let me stop fucking with my boy Cam. He like, oh shit, what happened?
like-
There's some Diddy shit
I
going on.
thought I was interviewing Orlando, bro.
Yeah,
man. I was
yeah. I hit you with the Usher was a gusher. He like, hold on, what the fuck? Nah, you said Gucci going through one of them 150 joints. That nigga is bipolar. Did you see me just talking about him the other day on the show?
I did it.
Yeah, man. That's one nigga I wish I never met in my life. And no, not because he ain't no good person. I love Cuz to death. Like, but as a person, like, you weird as fuck. You like weird to the motherfucker, Cuz. Like, on 6 like, Cuz got a problem with loyalty too, though. And he be loyal to who he loyal to, but it's just like, you had the whole A in your palms, bro. All them artists left Gucci Mane for a reason. He had everybody, but he's so not an introvert. He's so
Extrovert?
narcissistic and introvert. And an introvert to the point.
Okay, I guess he's talking about Gucci, and he's claiming that Gucci's artists. He's saying people left Gucci. Yeah, Gucci has kind of cycled through a lot of artists, right? Remember when Gucci man signs Asian Doll was with Gucci, man, right? She was like 1017, right? Yeah, that's when 1017 was with 1017 was with, I forgot what label it was on. Yeah, whatever happened with that? She claimed Gucci let her leave. You know what's always been interesting in, like, I don't know. Why hasn't Gucci Mane had more success on the label like front? Like, he's let so many great artists who has came to him go to someone else. Gucci, man, drops label. He's done it a couple times. I think the Migos, he's one of the guys who allowed the Migos to go be with QC. I always thought when he got out and like him and P locked in for a while, I thought they were gonna help him like really do the CEO thing. And at times, I mean, he don't look like sporadic. He don't look like he's crashing out. I don't see him like talk a certain type of way. Bricc Baby Rack speaks on Gucci Man dropping him in 24 hours. What the hell?
Chosen one. I feel like I laughed at it though. You feel me? When I first initially.
When did this happen? This was 2 years ago. He says he dropped Baby Racks one day after signing him. So congratulations to Baby Racks, first artist to get signed and dropped in a day. This dude not signed the 10/17. This was in November 2022. And he says, I'm definitely not fucking with Houston after that. Don't book me because Baby Racks ain't coming. Y'all mad because I ain't coming to Houston. Fuck Houston. Versace, we brought that shit back and you niggas is lame. And he says, congrats to Baby. I guess he's responding to Gucci now. Congrats to Baby Racks. Appreciate the video. Appreciate you flying me and the team out. I appreciate the check Atlantic Records sent you. Thank Gucci. I'm a free agent now. Get at me. Gotti, what up? Jeezy, what up? QC, what up? Ross, what up? Yeah, whatever happened with that? Didn't Gucci drop the nigga named Lil Wop and he turned gay? There's a nigga named Lil Wop, and I always thought that like him and Gucci was gonna be twins. Ex-1017 rapper Lil Wop disses Gucci following bisexual revelations. What? Says I'm bisexual. I like girls and guys. It's we. Okay. All right. Whoa. What was his issue with Gucci? That's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. Yeah, there is something about the 1017 label. It just never got off the ground. 1017 label. Okay, last year was the video. It was they were in shambles. Then 3 months ago was like the curse of 1017.
Gucci Mane started his first label back in 2007, and it's been clear from the jump that he should have just stuck to rapping. Almost every artist he signs either ends up dead or in jail. And today we're breaking down the wild stories behind why fans think his label, 1017, is cursed. The biggest reason everyone's talking about the 1017 curse lately is because of Enchanting's tragic death from an overdose.
Oh, I forgot Enchanting was signed there too.
She was a 26-year-old artist who signed with Gucci Mane back in 2020. But after dropping some music on his 1017 label, Enchanting went independent in 2022. Apparently, Enchanting had been fighting drug addiction for a while, and a few days before she passed away, she went to her friend's house to try to kick the addiction. Unfortunately, it didn't work out though, and on June 10th, Enchanting was rushed to the hospital because she had a heart attack caused by a drug overdose. She tragically died the next day, and Gucci hopped on social media to give his respects. But as soon as the news broke, people started talking about the 1017 curse and how Gucci's artists always end up dead or in jail. Gucci's wife Keisha Kayor jumped in to defend him, but there's a good reason why fans think something is wrong with Gucci's label. Back in 2007, Gucci started his first label, So YC Entertainment. Back then, Gucci didn't sign a lot of artists and was pretty much dropping his own mixtapes through the label, but he did start working with Frenchie, Waka Flocka Flame, and some producers like DJ Drama. Gucci was working with a company called Mizé Entertainment to help him run the So Icy label, and after a few years, Gucci closed the label because Mizé Entertainment was allegedly acting shady.
Yeah, I remember the Gucci and Waka fallout.
According to reports, they were selling Gucci's verses and booking him on shows he never agreed to, so Gucci dropped them and moved on. The first label didn't work out, but that didn't stop Gucci from trying again. In 2010, he started 1017 Bricc Squad and signed artists like Waka Flocka Flame.
Yeah, I remember that. Bricc Squad!
OJ the Juice Man.
Ooh, remember Juice Man?
and Slim Duncan. Gucci and Waka Flocka Flame are linking up and dropping some of the hottest trap music in the game. But it all fell apart when Gucci started beefing with Waka's mom. Waka's mom, Deborah, used to be Gucci's manager, but there were some money issues behind the scenes, and Gucci claimed that Deborah was stealing money from OJ the Juice Man and Frenchie. 1017 Bricc Squad ended up falling apart over the situation, but the money drama wasn't the only issue the label had.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate to say it, but I think Gucci's a perfect example of why you don't sign to a rapper. I don't know him personally. I've did an interview with him, but I don't know him. I'm not gonna say it's like narcissism or ego, whatever the case is, but I'm only being quiet because I'm thinking about a story, and I want to give y'all like a realistic. Okay, I'm gonna say this. You'll probably even get the artist I'm talking about, but I don't want to say the names because I feel like if I say the names, they're gonna headline this, and I don't want to do it. So, there's a notorious artist in the game, and there's a notorious label in the game. I'm cool with the label owner. I'm cool with the artist. They had signed someone, and the artist signed someone, and the person that they signed, the situation went bad for whatever reason. The artist just gave up. You got it. All right, whatever. Like, basically was just done with it. Just not trying to fuck with the artist at all, right? Hopefully I'm not giving too much hints. I kind of want to give a couple hints. I don't care if y'all find out. I just don't want to say the names, okay? Maybe there was some writing stuff involved, right? The label that the artist that signed the other artist is signed to, what they told me? They said, man, he said, this is a difference with like an artist and executive. There's like, an artist gets frustrated really easily. You see, the thing about dealing with an artist, you're dealing with guys or women who have these big egos. They think they're the shit. They're needy. They're like kids. As more successful they get, the more arrogant they get their own team. They start talking crazy to people. Shit, they might even start talking crazy to you, and you're signing their checks, right? They get bitchy. All that type of stuff happens. When you sign to an artist, and this is the difference between an artist and a true exec. A true exec really knows he could kill your career at any time, but he gonna let you talk to him like you his bitch. You know why? For the show to go on, he gotta appease your ego. You're now arrogant. You think that your shit don't stink, whatever. A true executive is gonna make it work. An artist ain't gonna make it work. Fuck you. I get more money off my own music anyway. Fuck out of here. I'm doing you a favor. Fuck out of here. You get what I'm saying? And that just shows you sometimes how when you sign to a label that is controlled by an artist, when you now start being an artist like they were an artist, that person at times might be like, yo, they don't want to deal with you, or they might feel a way about how you're moving, and that might make them prioritize you or that situation a little bit different. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like, I'll give you an example, and I'll call names on this. If Uzi was signed to an artist, they would have got him out of here a long time ago. With all due respect, and even though we all are Team Uzi, man, Uzi was over here talking crazy and reckless and entitled as could be when talking about drama and talking about Don Cannon. And they took it for years. They took it for years, and they never once exposed him. Never once. Never once came out. Uzi put his fans to hate him. They never once came out and says, let me tell y'all what we dealing with. We're dealing with A, B, C, D, E, F, G with this guy. We're doing as best as we could do. They never did it. They took all of the bullying, the fans blaming them, because they knew for the business to go on, no matter what the real situation was, Uzi had to be the good guy. And for them being executive, their opinions and feelings didn't matter. And that's very important. You get that with an executive. You won't get that with an artist. An artist is not going to be a sponge for your bad behavior, your PMSing, your whatever. And also, a lot of times when an artist is putting on another artist, really quickly they start feeling like, yeah, you know I don't got to do this, right? You know I could just make music my damn self. Like, you know I'm doing something for you. And that's a very interesting spot to put another artist in, because when they're working with the label, they never feel that way about their label. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Back in 2011, Slim Duncan was at a studio in Atlanta getting ready to shoot a music video for Gucci Mane's track Push Ups. Another rapper named Young Vito was at the studio that day, and something sparked a beef between him and Slim Duncan. It's not clear exactly what happened next, but at some point, Young Vito upped his strap and tragically killed Slim Duncan. Young Vito skated on the murder charge, but he was convicted of aggravated assault and possession of a firearm and got hit with a 25-year sentence. After it went down, Gucci rapped about Slim Duncan and Waka Flocka Flame on the track R.I.P. Slim Duncan and said, "Man, I miss my Dunk so much, I dig his up. If I could bring his back, I would dig his up. We would rarely go to sleep. We were balling so much. BSM in 1017. Dirt Gang.
Anybody remember Slim Duncan?
Stand up. Remember, Flocka was my goon. Now he ran his mills up." Slim Duncan wasn't the only OG on Gucci's roster who got hit with the 1017 curse though. OJ the Juice Man came up in the same apartment building as Gucci, and they were tight way before either of them started rapping. OJ and Gucci put out a lot of music together, and back in the day, OJ's mixtapes were popping off in the Southern hip-hop game. Everything was cool for a while, and in 2010, OJ was even featured on XXL's freshman class, but then he started falling off and even got into a Twitter beef with Gucci. Gucci had claimed that Waka's mom was stealing money from OJ, and for some reason, OJ got pressed at Gucci over the situation and said he was never actually signed to Bricc Squad. OJ and Gucci squashed the beef, but OJ's been getting hit with the 1017 curse ever since. After he fell off in the rap game, OJ allegedly went straight back into the trenches. Back in 2022, he was booked on gun and drug charges. Then in
Nah, that's not a Gucci Man curse. Yo, chat, let me tell you this, man. If you respectfully, I'm gonna say this. If there's a rapper, and by the way, I ain't gonna lie, I know a few of them from the Clout era. And I won't call no names because I like these guys. But if a rapper ain't had a hit in 2.5 years, he ain't going back to work at no goddamn 7-Eleven. That nigga trapping. Okay? Rappers getting fast. A lot of people look at rap as a hustle anyway. So when rap starts to dry up, they're down to their last 50,000 to 100,000. They're one of their mans be in the streets. They get to trapping, bro. And I'm not speaking necessarily about Juice Man. I'm just speaking about the majority of these rappers, okay? These dudes don't really invest. They don't have really much businesses going on. And they kind of treat it almost like street niggas do. So when their music career dries up, they kind of get into like the easiest thing that they could flip 100,000 in. So I'm not going to say this is a 1017 curse. No, he just wasn't popping anymore. And he decided to do this. How is this Gucci's fault?
March 2024, the news broke that OJ had been arrested again. According to the police report, a cop tried to pull him over for speeding in Georgia, but OJ didn't stop at first. OJ started a little chase, but then he decided to just pull over instead of making the situation worse. Speeding and running from the cops is bad enough, but it was about to get way worse for him. When the cops searched OJ's whip, they found cocaine, other drugs, and a gun too. OJ had been sitting in jail ever since the news broke, and it don't look like he's gonna be coming home anytime soon. When Bricc Squad was falling apart, Gucci started beefing.
Wait, OJ the Juice Man still locked up? Is he locked up? I thought it was free. Oh, it's 3 hours ago. He's free, right? I hope he's free. OJ the. Oh, he was arrested recently. Oh, damn.
With his artist Frenchie too. Frenchie is Waka Flocka's cousin, so Frenchie definitely wasn't gonna switch up on Flocka and keep rocking with Gucci Mane. Frenchie even dropped a diss track aimed at Gucci called Sometimes and rapped, "We built this company together, now you bugging out. Throw my hands on you? Nah, but I don't wanna stock you out. Yeah, you got me screaming out, you don't want me to have what I have, cause in my eyes, you a." Gucci is the reason Frenchie even had a career, but Frenchie said that Gucci didn't want anyone in the team to win.
So if we switch from So Icy to go to Bricc Squad, and you doing like you don't want an artist to get bigger than you. That's what it is with Gucci Mane. If you notice that.
They ended up squashing the beef, and Gucci even supported Frenchie when he started his own label, but the 1017 curse hit Frenchie hard. At first, it looked like Frenchie might be good at running the label. He was allegedly the first person to discover Nicki Minaj and French Montana, so obviously Frenchie could pick artists with huge potential. Unfortunately, the label didn't work out though, and it was all downhill from there. Frenchie's career started falling off fast. Then in 2021, he barely survived getting shot in the neck. Luckily, he made it out of the situation alive, but in 2023, he got wrapped up in another wild situation. Frenchie and a bunch of other dudes broke into a family's home because they thought there was $100K worth of weed stashed there. They raided the place and even pistol whipped an autistic teenager who lived there.
Wow. That's crazy.
But it turns out there wasn't even any weed in the crib. Frenchie was allegedly in the house when it went down and drove the getaway car too. And in 2023, he got hit with a 12-year sentence over the situation. Gucci ended up catching a gun case in 2013 and was locked up for a couple of years. But when he came
Iconic Gucci picture right here in court.
13 and was locked up for a
Bitch, I might be.
couple of years. But when he came back home, he announced that he was starting a new label, 1017 Eskimo Records.
Yeah, I remember this. This was at Alamo. I remember going to Alamo. So when I first met with salute to Todd Moskowitz, Alamo, great people, work with them. That's kind of like how I locked in. Well, I was locked in with Dirk already, but me and Todd were pretty cool. The only thing they had in the building over there, which I think that's the only thing they have at Alamo now, it's over at Sony, I think, right now. Is it Sony or Warner? Sony. Alamo has Dirk, Rod Wave, and it used to have 1017 Eskimo. And that was supposed to be whoever Gucci was bringing. But I don't know if Gucci's taking these deals just to get the upfront check. You know, when you sign these ventures, let me tell you how this works, right? I'll give you because I still have a label. It's called the Academy Records, right? And when you have a record label like that, let me tell you how it works. It's a joint venture with you and another label, right? Mine was with 10K, or it still is with 10K. They give you an advance, right? And then they give you an amount, or at least for me, they gave me an amount to run the label per quarter, which means you could hire a staff, you could go get an office if you need to, do whatever you got to do, pay for studio time, but it's like an overhead, which is hire some people, go get an office, blah, 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 blah. I think they were giving me like, I don't even need to tell you the numbers, but you also get like a bigger advance up front, which is there. And then what's in the deal is, hey, you need to give us this amount of projects per year. And usually, like I could imagine this deal with Gucci would probably say, we need a compilation album and you have to be on half the tracks or something like that, because Gucci's still a name, right? So and I remember, I forgot when Gucci got out of jail. So like Gucci's piping hot still, right? So it'd be like, hey, listen, here's your label, 1017 Eskimo. We're going to give you this amount of money up front. We're going to give you this per quarter to run the label. So you could go get an office, go get this, whatever. By the way, again, all glorified loans, right? All glorified loans. And you have to deliver to us, I don't know, maybe 4 albums a year from whatever artist you sign, and 1 compilation album, which is a label album, which you'll be on half the tracks. And the thinking there is going to be, well, if Gucci's on half the tracks, we could at least definitely market that. And then we're going to hope that, since this is his label, he could at least find one person that is at least decently marketed, right? I forgot who he signed to this, but they're about to tell us.
Gucci signed artists like Rollo, Asian Doll, and
Oh,
Hood
okay.
Rich Pop
So then he signed Rollo and okay
for a couple of years. But when he came back home, he announced that he was starting a new label, 1017 Eskimo Records. Gucci signed artists like Rollo, Asian Doll, and Hood Rich Pablo Juan. And at first it looked like he had everything figured out. Rollo was the first one to sign on the new label. Rollo linked up with Gucci in the club, and Gucci wanted to know if Rollo had to deal with anybody.
I was in a club with my partner named P at QC, and Gucci, it was actually a Gucci party, and Gucci had done seen me. He broke his neck. He was like, oh, that Rollo. I gave him doubt, gave him some love. He told me I was a big fan of me, and he wanted to work with me, man, and he wanted to know was I signed to anybody.
Rollo had been hanging around Birdman, Young Thug, and a bunch of other rappers who had labels, but nobody had signed him yet. So the next day, Gucci brought Rollo to the studio with him and gave him a verse for free. And when Gucci set up 1017 Eskimo Records, Rollo was the first dude he called. Linking up with Gucci should have been a huge win for Rollo, but instead of focusing on the rap game, Rollo kept both feet in the trenches and ended up getting caught with almost 1,000 pounds of weed on a private jet. The cops took Rollo's properties, jewelry, and pretty much everything else from him. Getting caught still didn't slow.
Now, I guess this is my only criticism. I guess if I gotta lay some criticism at Gucci's feet, because some people would say, well, if your label's cursed, what that got to do with the artist, right? It feels like Gucci was just signing street niggas and then hoping that they would turn to artists. A lot of great CEOs damn near force their artists to get out of the streets. Got to force them, right? Because if you give a nigga, say you sign him for $1.5 million and he's already a street nigga, he might buy a chain for like 40, 50,000. Buy his mama like a house, put 200 down or something like that. Cop a car, but then he got like $1 million left. He give his partners like 200,000, and then the other 800,000, he like, yo, I could just invest this into the streets, and I'm already making money now because I'm about to go with you on tours and pop up at clubs. So there is some onus on the label where you got to force these niggas to be artists. Like, these niggas is hood niggas. You can't give hood niggas just money and think they're going to be motivated to go to a studio and stay out of trouble. Because, first of all, they actually think the win is getting the deal with you. When that's, like, no one would say getting a loan is the win, but for these people, that's the win.
Slow down his hustle though, and Rollo got caught trying to make drug deals from behind bars and ended up getting hit with an 8-year sentence in 2022. While Rollo was locked up, his family tagged Gucci on social media and asked him for support. They said Rollo didn't want any money or anything like that, he just wanted Gucci to shout him out. It turns out that Rollo had already left 1017 Eskimo by the time he got caught though. Gucci Mane did an interview with Charlamagne the God and revealed that Rollo left the label and gave back all the money Gucci had given him.
We had parted ways on the music side. So he started doing music. He wanted to do his own music. And he actually gave me the money back for the deal he got before he got.
Wow.
That was crazy. Like, he was like, he do it on his own, which I had to respect that. Mm-hmm. So we had already parted ways business-wise, but I still.
Oh, so Rollo bought himself out of the deal. Yeah, so it appears that, and by the way, shout out to Rollo. Rollo wants to come do Off the Record. Y'all want me to do a podcast for Rollo? Rollo wants to come do it. I watched the story that he told on Say Cheese. I thought it was amazing. But yeah, you could tell Rollo got that rap money and flipped it in the streets and probably said, man, fuck rap. He probably looked at it as like a glorified loan. Like, yo, you already flipped this in the streets. Take this, I'm gonna just get out of that and do me.
My dog.
Back in 2021, Rollo hopped on social media and said he's not signed to 1017, but he still considers them all family. Rollo got hit with the 1017 curse, and the same thing happened to Hood Rich Pablo Juan. Pablo signed the 1017 Eskimo right after Rollo did. His name was popping after he dropped the track, We Don't Love Him, and everyone thought Pablo was gonna blow up even more when he linked up with Gucci Mane. That's not how it all worked out though. Pablo started taking L's on social media, and in 2019, people started clowning him for allegedly getting beat, robbed, and stripped naked at a studio. Then Pablo got his chain snatched while he was trying to squash someone else's beef. Gucci ended up dropping Hood Rich Pablo Juan from the label, but that wasn't the end of Pablo's.
See, I guess also that was into my spiel about labels. This whole dropping people, like, you don't drop an artist because they make you look bad. You got to think about how much you invested in them. Like put it like this. Like even Thug. Thug don't fuck with Gunna, but he's making a very educated, very, very educated business decision. Gunna is worth a lot. Gunna could go sign a deal for $15, $20 million. If you say, oh no, I don't fuck with who I think is a rat, so I'm gonna just let him go for free, you just like lost out on all the investment that went into making him. So no matter how much Thug don't like Gunna, no, you're gonna keep him on this label. You might make it uncomfortable for him. Or who knows, maybe somebody that's repping Thug brings Gunna to the side and say, hey, listen, if you pay me $10 million, we'll let you out your deal. You can go sign to whoever else you want to go fucking sign to. But we put an investment in you, and I want my $10 million, or maybe it's 15. Who knows what he wants? But you could buy your way off this label. Until then, we're going to slap a YSL sticker on every fucking product you put out, okay? Because you're signed to us.
Drama. In October 2020, he got hit with a RICO case, and the cops were claiming he was a member of the Rolling 20s neighborhood Bloods. The cops started investigating him back in 2019, then named Hoodrich Pablo Juan and 45 other alleged Bloods in the indictment. It's not clear what they thought Pablo actually did, but he caught 2 charges for violating the Georgia RICO Act, and in 2022, he took a plea deal for 5 years in prison and 10 years of probation. There's a chance he'll get out early if he doesn't cause any issues on the inside, but he already got hit with the 1017 curse, and his career is pretty much dead at this point. Asian Doll was the first woman who ever signed with Gucci Mane. She had already been in the game for a couple of years and dropped a few mixtapes, but signing with Gucci was definitely the biggest moment of her career. Asian Doll said that other labels had reached out and wanted to sign her, but she thought linking up with Gucci was the best decision.
Queen Vaughn.
Asian Doll and Gucci made headlines when the deal was signed, and Asian Doll dropped a couple of mixtapes on the label. It didn't take long before issues started popping up though. A few months after she joined Gucci's label, Asian Doll said she wishes she was still independent. She told the Dallas Observer that being on the label made everything too organized and that she missed being able to drop whenever she wanted to. Before Asian Doll linked up with Gucci Mane, she had dropped 6 mixtapes in 3 years, but the label apparently didn't want her to drop that much. There's a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to who gets to drop and when, and Asian Doll wasn't rocking with how they were doing business. So in 2020, Asian Doll announced that she was leaving 1017. According to her, she just asked Gucci to let her out of the deal, and he said okay. It was clear that there wasn't any bad blood, but that didn't stop Asian Doll from getting hit with the 1017 curse. Right after Asian Doll left the label, she got picked up on drug charges in Georgia and had to spend a few days in jail.
Ain't got nothing to do with Gucci, man.
Lil Wop hated him after signing to his label. In 2022, Lil Wop let it be known he was no longer associated with 1017 and called Gucci Mane a weirdo. Gucci's 1017 Eskimo label didn't work out at all. He allegedly spent over $4 million of his own money trying to get his artists popping, but all of them got hit with the 1017.
He spent $4 million of label money. Trust. Gucci ain't losing a fucking coin on these niggas.
Curse, and Gucci had to start all over again.
Let me tell you how label works, man. Even if you go over budget, if you're a big enough artist like Gucci is, or was at a point, or you could show some progress, you just invoice the label gonna pay you back. There ain't no, let me tell you this. When you sign to a label, there is no, I paid it with my own money. That you sign to a bank. They're supposed to pay you back for everything. If you ain't getting paid back, get off the label. No matter what it is. Yo, I missed my flight. I had to do this. I booked a private jet. I did whatever it is, the label is supposed to pay it. If you're paying with your own money that they're not compensate you for, get off the label.
He announced he was coming out with a different label called the New 1017, and this time, it actually looked different. Gucci started signing some of the hottest rappers in the game, like Pooh Shiesty, Big Scar.
Yeah, I thought this was the version. Pooh Shiesty's Big Scar,
Fujiano, Hot Boy West, and Enchanted. Gucci finally had a label full of artists who all have momentum in the industry. They dropped a compilation tape called So Icy Boys, and overnight, Gucci was running one of the hottest labels in the game. They still couldn't outrun the 1017 curse though, and this time the downfall was crazier than ever. Fujiano signed with Gucci to the New 1017 and was on his way up in the industry. He came up in the trenches and had served time.
Yeah, he was dating Rennie Rucci, I believe.
On burglary and robbery charges, but it looked like he had switched up how he was moving and was ready to take rapping seriously. But just a few months after he linked up with Gucci, Fujiano was involved with a wild shootout at a club during one of his shows.
What the fuck? Is that why he got locked up?
Trenches
I
and had
forgot why
served
I got
time on
locked up.
burglary and robbery charges, but it looked like he had switched up how he was moving and was ready to take rapping seriously. But just a few months after he linked up with Gucci, Fujiano was involved with a wild shootout at a club during one of his shows. It's not clear how everything went down, but Fujiano's ops allegedly showed up during the set and started causing issues. Then both sides upped their straps and started letting off shots while fans ran for cover. 8 people got hit, and 2 of them tragically didn't make it out of the situation alive. Fujiano wasn't charged with shooting anyone, but his homie Jarquez Cooper was sentenced to 50 years for killing an innocent woman during the shootout. Fujiano's career already took a hit, but it was about to get way worse for him. In December 2020, he was booked for carrying a gun as a convicted felon. The judge let him out on a $50K.
Yo, chat, this should be like crazy as hell. Let me ask you that question. What happens to this guy? He's just does life in jail and everything's cool? So I'm guessing he's like part of the entourage for Fujiano. Like he just killed somebody and I wonder what he thinks. Like, nigga, you just crashed out. Like your life is over with and other niggas is free?
Fujiano's career already took a hit, but it was about to get way worse for him. In December 2020, he was booked for carrying a gun as a convicted felon. The judge let him out on a $50K bond, but Fujiano burned off his ankle monitor and did the race like Tay K. He didn't last long on the run though, and a few months later, he got caught by the feds. Now Fujiano is serving 5 years in prison, but he's not the only new 1017 rapper who got locked up. Pooh Shiesty hopped in the booth and started blowing up from the jump. He was running up crazy numbers with
Pooh Shiesty's a real star.
tracks like Hell Night, Chopper Talk, and Day One. Gucci Mane saw the potential and signed Shiesty in 2020, and that's when everything really took off for him. Gucci and Shiesty linked up in the studio for the track Still Remember. Then Shiesty kept up the momentum by working with superstars like Lil Baby and Lil Durk. Pooh Shiesty could have taken over the whole gang, but then he fumbled the bag and got caught up in some wild legal situations. He was booked in 2020 for a crazy robbery and shooting in Florida. Shiesty and his homies pulled up to a hotel parking lot to buy drugs and sneakers from 2 dudes, but then Shiesty pulled out a Draco and shot one of them.
Yeah, I remember that. The Pooh Shiesty really pulled up in a lime green McLaren and pulled out a gun and shot somebody.
Crazy robbery and shooting in Florida. Shiesty and his homies pulled up to a hotel parking lot to buy drugs and sneakers from 2 dudes, but then Shiesty
Which one was Shiesty?
pulled out a Draco and shot one of them. Shiesty had plenty of money to buy whatever drugs and shoes he wanted, but for some reason, he decided to rob the dudes instead. And what makes the situation even crazier is that it went down right across the street from a police station. Shiesty bonded out for the robbery.
Real nigga.
Then a few months later, he was arrested again for allegedly upping his strap at a strip club and hitting a security guard. Shiesty skated on the strip club
Real nigga.
shooting because the witness took his statement back, but Shiesty didn't get so lucky over the other situation. In 2022, he pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges, and now he's serving a 5-year sentence just like Fujiano. 5 years in prison is tough, but that's nothing compared to what happened to Gucci's artist, Hot Boy West. Hot Boy West came up in Texas and started buzzing in 2019 with his mixtape, Never Had.
I never really knew this guy.
West already had a long rap sheet when he signed to the new 1017 label. He was sent to juvie back in 2010 for organized criminal activity, which basically just means gangbanging. Then he was hit with a 7-year sentence in 2013 for the same thing. Everyone knew that Hot Boy West had history in the streets, but nobody expected what was about to happen. It's not clear how much Gucci Mane paid Hot Boy West when he signed with 1017, but obviously, it wasn't enough for West. Gucci had given West a Rolex when they made the deal. Then West decided to sell the watch for $9K. West met up with the dude who wanted to buy the watch, and after the buyer handed over the money, West kept the watch and started to drive away. The other dude tried to stop him, and that's when West started hitting him with the car door. West sped off, but it wasn't long before the feds were on him. The U.S. Marshals caught up to West and arrested him. And what made the situation even worse is that West was carrying a stolen gun too. Getting booked on robbery and gun charges was bad, but it turns out that West already had a way more serious case hanging over his head. In 2020, Hot Boy West tried to run his baby mama's car into a cement barrier while their kids were in her car.
Not real, nigga. Not real, nigga. Not real. Not real. That is not real part.
1017 curse only got worse for Hot Boy West after that. He ended up pleading guilty to 2 counts of assault, family violence, assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, and a bunch of other things. And the judge sentenced Hot Boy West to 15 years in prison.
God damn.
Road Boy was another rapper from Tampa, Florida, who got hit with the 1017 curse. Roadboy signed to 1017 in 2020 after Gucci heard his music and randomly DM'd him at 4 a.m. After he signed, Roadboy had the first verse on the track 1017 Loaded, along with Gucci, Big Scar, Enchanting, Fujiano, and Pooh Shiesty. But like a lot of artists on the label, Roadboy's career didn't last long. Things started to go downhill after a gay dude posted a photo of himself with another man that he claimed was Roadboy and said Roadboy gave him an AP watch. Roadboy denied the rumor on Instagram, but also used a slur that caused a controversy online. Then Roadboy also took a shot at Gucci, claiming the 1017 chain he gave him was fake and he'd already been dropped from the label. Not long after that, Roadboy got arrested for burglary and carrying a concealed weapon, and his career never really went anywhere. Hot Boy West, Fujiano, Roadboy, and Pooh Shiesty all getting locked up definitely hurt the new 1017. But one of the biggest losses was when Big Scar tragically died in 2022. Big Scar came up in Memphis like Pooh Shiesty, and they were actually blood cousins. Scar dropped his first track in 2019, and a year later, he linked up with Gucci Mane and signed with him. 2020 was a huge year for him, but Scar almost...
Yo, like 10 minutes ago, I was like, ain't no fucking curse. Right now, I'm like, nah, this is a curse.
died after getting shot in the hip. The bullet traveled through his body and ended up hitting his appendix, so Big Scar had to get the appendix removed. He had already survived a wild car crash in 2016, and Big Scar wasn't going to let the shooting slow him down. He started dropping hot tracks and was blowing up in the industry fast, and in 2022, he was featured on the XXL freshman class. In December 2022, news broke that Scar was going to go on tour with Key Glock, but unfortunately, that's not how it went down. Big Scar had been struggling with drugs for a long time, and on December 22nd, 2022, he tragically died from an accidental overdose while he was at his girlfriend's house. Signing rappers from Memphis looked like a good idea for Gucci. There's a lot of great artists in the city, but all of the dudes who signed to Gucci have been hit with the 1017 curse, and this next Memphis rapper from 1017 got wrapped up in a crazy murder case right before his career popped off. Mac Critter was one of the hardest working rappers in Memphis in 2020, but right now, nobody knows what really happened. When the cops found Kato 2 times and arrested him, round. But right after he signed the contract, Kato got booked for allegedly shooting his own brother at a Lil Baby concert. In September 2023, Lil Baby was doing a show at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. It's not clear what actually went down, but after Lil Baby took the stage, somebody started letting off shots and the show got cut short. The dude who got hit was a rapper named CEO Jizzle. According to reports, Kato and Jizzle were standing beside each other when the shots started going off, and the cops think Kato was the one who hit Jizzle. If Kato did shoot Jizzle, it was probably an accident though. They're allegedly blood brothers, and they've been making music together for years. Rumors say that Kato was trying to shoot an op, and Jizzle just got caught by a stray bullet, but right now, nobody knows what really happened. When the cops found Kato 2 times and arrested him, they found out that he was already on bond for 3 different felony cases, including the murder charge from back in 2017. Just like Mac Critter, Kato 2 times is still on 1017, but it's gonna be a long time before he can start putting on for the label again. If you're a rapper from Memphis, it's clear that you should sign with pretty much anyone besides Gucci Mane. Set bonds it out again and is free now, but he might still be facing some serious charges. Gucci obviously likes signing street dudes from the South, and back in 2021, he gave a deal to Arkansas rapper Big Fizzle. Big Fizzle was still in high school playing football when he signed with 1017, but he already had a buzz in the industry from tracks like Bandit and Superfly. The 1017 curse didn't hit Big Fizzle immediately. For a couple of years, he was staying out of trouble and racking up huge numbers. He had features from dudes like Quavo, and Big Fizzle even had a track on the Fast and Furious soundtrack. But it seems like when you sign to Gucci Mane, it's only a matter of time before something bad happens. And in 2024, Big Fizzle got arrested for gun and drug charges. It's not clear if he'll have to do any jail time over the situation.
Hell nah. Hell no.
But that's because he didn't know who actually asked him about the 1017 curse.
Are you worried at all about the alleged 1017 curse?
No, I be hearing about this. I ain't worried about that.
You don't buy it?
Hell nah. Hell no.
But that's because he didn't know what was about to happen to him. Lil Ry started beefing with NBA Youngboy because he thought Youngboy dissed him and called him a rookie. Youngboy had been locked up on house arrest in Utah for a while, and Lil Ry sent shots at him on the track I Don't Respond and raps, I don't stay too far from Utah. Take a trip to see the view, ha. Who, why, you, die, who, bye, woo. My brother claim he die, move. Ain't believe him till I see him draw blood. When you hit in your head, that blood rush out just like a flood. Lil Ry and NBA Youngboy started going back and forth. Then some goons caught up to Ry while he was at a mall in Atlanta and robbed him on camera. Youngboy clowned him over the situation, and rumors started flying that the NBA crew were the ones who jumped Lil Ry. But but it turns out that it was actually some 4L affiliates who robbed him. After it went down, the 4L dudes banned Lil Rod from Atlanta and said he better get out of the city.
All we didn't take your chain because you ran to the police, 12 ass. Screaming with your goof ass. Yeah. Yeah, we back with them. Get the fuck out the city. You know why we didn't take your chain? Police ass, tap in.
But Rod clapped back and told him to drop their location. The whole situation was a bad look for Rod though. He was able to keep his 1017 chain, but that didn't stop people from clowning him all over social media. Lil Rod was talking tough online after it went down, but the video of him getting robbed like that is probably gonna follow him for the rest of his career. Even though he never officially signed to Gucci, Coach the Ghost is another rapper who got hit by the 1017 curse. Coach the Ghost is a rapper from Brooklyn who's affiliated with a set of the GDs that are known to be for Crip rappers like Pop Smoke and 5 Foreign. Coach the Ghost blew up with a song called Hit List, where he dissed Pop Smoke right after Pop had just died. Gucci heard the song and asked fans on Instagram to help him find Coach so he could sign him to the new 1017. Soon after, Coach the Ghost posted photos of himself rocking a 1017 chain, and everyone thought he signed to the label, but when the So Icy Gang compilation dropped with all the new artists on the label, Coach the Ghost wasn't on it, sparking rumors that he was already dropped. Coach the Ghost later revealed that Gucci helped him get a deal directly with Atlantic, the label that owned 1017. Coach the Ghost was a Brooklyn drill rapper and didn't really fit the southern trap sound of 1017. Plus, Gucci probably didn't want to get in the middle of one of the biggest beefs going on in New York, especially after Coach the Ghost dissed Pop Smoke. Signing to Atlantic didn't really help Coach the Ghost's career or save him from the 1017 curse. Coach the Ghost never had another big hit after that, and in 2022, he ended up getting arrested for murder while he was on the run in Georgia. Coach the Ghost had already spent 6 years in prison for a shooting and was still on parole when he got locked up, so he probably won't be out anytime soon. It's wild how Gucci's artists keep getting locked up, jumped, and dying young. A lot of fans think the label is cursed, and even Gucci's wife Keisha Kayor asked about why his artists keep going to jail. It's a question a lot of people have been asking, but Gucci's answer made a lot of sense.
Well, you know what I'm saying, to be honest, you know, I was one of those type of artists. I was always going back and forth to jail, and I try to, you know what I'm saying, like, help those artists that I feel like, you know, I see a lot of myself in, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that being said, you know, I try to ride it out with them through their little bumps or whatever they're going through, but I feel like if I'm not helping them, who else gonna help them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody says that part of the story, you know what I'm saying?
Gucci knows what it's like to bounce back from that and come out on top, and he wants to help young artists who are headed in a bad direction. Almost all of Gucci's artists had crazy legal records before they ever linked up with him, but Gucci still gave him a chance to leave the streets behind and make it in the music industry. But even if you give some...
Alright, man, Gucci, hopefully Pooh Shiesty come home and really hold it down for 1017, but shit, I understand why you dropped everybody, bro. I get it. I think him dropping everybody is a musical decision. You have, like, these days, you know, again, just how the music business is going, when you have a bunch of artists, especially you had, like, high promise for them and you could tell they ain't going nowhere, you're better off dropping them. Now, granted, you better be very sure that they're not going to go nowhere because they might go on somebody else's label and make it happen. But, you know, if you're hemorrhaging money trying to keep these niggas up based on the deals you gave them, you got to, at some point, trim the fat. All right. Okay. Chat.